Hey, Digi friends, Michelle here from Digivangelism. Each week we bring you the best tips and practices for reaching your people online and having an effective digital ministry. But it's not all about social media, which is what we mostly talk about, and websites. But one thing we like to talk about now and again is email. And this week and the next 3 weeks, we're bringing you an exclusive series on email. How to grow a list, how to nurture your list. If you're thinking, why should email matter to me when I've got social media? I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, I've got TikTok. Well, those are platforms that other people own, and your email list and your website are things that you own and can control. It's just another avenue for you to reach your people online with hope, healing, and light. So if you're a progressive spiritual leader and want to reach more people online with your message, subscribe below. We are here each week to bring you the best practices for digital ministry goodness. So this series is about how to jumpstart your email list. This is the first of a 3-part series intended to help you hit the ground running this year to build and maintain a healthy email list to get your readers engaged and comfortable in taking the next steps with your faith community or organization. First, we're going to talk about how to grow or start your email list. Next, we'll talk about how to nurture your email list. And third, we'll talk about how to engage with your email list. And there may be a bonus fourth one, but we'll talk about that later. So first things first, do you even have an email list? If you're in the camp of, yes, I have an email list, but at the moment, I only have email addresses for my church staff and Aunt Myrtle, well, that's okay. You may have a small email list, but there is power in that. Even if you have only 10 or 20 people on it, chances are each of those people know someone who might be interested in hearing about your community. So let's start there. Write an email to your existing list with the specific intention of asking those folks to share with their email contacts what your faith community has meant to them. So these contacts might include their family, friends, coworkers, or community group members. See, having your community members share a personal anecdote or experience they've had as a member of your community helps to make the email more personal and less like, marketing. You may even go so far as to give them a blurb or two to include in the email. Now, this works well if you can wrap this request with an upcoming event, either virtual or in person. Think of denominational speaking events or church speaking events, Bible studies, learning opportunities. Try not to make it just a come to worship on Sunday, because this is what's going on. See, specific intention is key here. Don't bundle this in with a list of events you have going on or volunteering requests. Create a single purpose email for this request because it's likely to get better engagement and response. In other words, you don't want to overwhelm your reader with too many things to think about or to read about. You want to clearly suggest to them the next specific steps or actions they need to take to help make this intention a reality. Use a bulleted list for simplicity and clarity. People scan, they don't read. And lastly, follow up with a thank you to your current members and a personal welcome email to those who were referred by them. Appreciation and personal connection do not go unnoticed amidst the cacophony that is canned email, social media, and auto texting. Personal note is really, really well received. So maybe you're in the camp of, no, I don't have an email list and I don't even know where to start. Hey, that's okay. You may think you don't have an email list, but we're willing to bet you do. It just may not be that obvious to you. For example, if you have a church management system or a member or donor list or some other method of collecting information on your members, you very well may have an email list embedded in there. So you can either extract these email addresses from their source or use a merge method to combine them with your email content or your email message. For example, your church management system likely allows you to create a group or a view of members with a certain criteria. You would then use this list in conjunction with your church management system to send messages out to this group. This is sometimes referred to as a mail merge. These messages could be about a specific volunteer event or service event. Just start from there and hey, you have an email list. Tricky thing here though, it is tied to your church management system, but you can export it to another format. Another method entirely is to use a specific tool made for email lists. like Mailchimp or MailerLite. Mailchimp, for example, the free version allows you up to 2,000 subscribers on your list and 10,000 emails sent per month. That's a lot. Catch is, though, you don't have access to all Mailchimp templates, though a good amount, and all the features, of course. And you can only have one audience defined. But the workaround to this is using segments or tags, which we'll get to later in the series. See, Mailchimp is very widely used, and it's quite easy to find YouTube tutorials on how to import email addresses into your audience list from a spreadsheet or other properly formatted file. If you're lucky enough to be using a church management system that integrates already with an email marketing platform like Mailchimp, you're already ahead in the game. The additional steps to connect the two are likely easily found within the help area of your church management system or with the aid of some support reps from your church management software company. If you aren't using a church management system, that's okay. You can still build a list with the addresses of people already around you, already involved in your community. And later on in this series, we'll talk about how to get new people on your list through using a lead generator. So let's talk about growing your list now. Now that you have established a foundation for the list, how do you keep it growing organically? Sure, one method is lead generators. We'll talk about that later in the series. But for now, here's some tips. Let's make sure it's easy to get it on and off. Ask for the least amount of personal info as possible. First name and email address. All you would need. We would suggest requiring a first name. There's no reason to get their whole life story on the email sign-up form. Use pop-ups on your website. They are annoying, but they work. Use Linktree on social media apps that point to a web page that will collect their emails, or what we'll talk about later too, a landing page. And let your potential subscribers know how they can get off this list. This is not only a courtesy, but is a requirement in some countries. Make it enticing to join your community's list. An email address is a valuable commodity. Encourage people to join by offering exclusive content available to only those who give you an email address. This is referred to as a lead generator in the marketing world. Look for more about that in future posts in this series. Use active voice and relate to potential subscribers one-to-one. Instead of just having subscribe on your button, you can have something like, yes, I want to hear more about this community and what it has to offer me. Or, yes, I need hope, healing, or light, or all of the above. Sign me up, please. So, here were just a few tips and tricks on how to get started on your email list. That's all for now, but stay in touch for the rest of the series and do subscribe below. We are here every week to help you with tips, trends, and best practices for your digital ministry presence.